17 and 18 years. Our departure is hopeless, and it is certain that for us there will be neither coffin nor grave. Our bones will be tossed into a pit to be burnt with those of horses and oxen. And neither our sons nor our sons' sons will ever know what we have endured.
But we do know, because they gave witness to their bitter experiences. The coolies knew the China Commission would leave and they would stay. Yet they spoke out at great risk, leaving their history for generations to come, their names, their villages.
But our story in Cuba did not end with our labor. Some went on with their lives. They married there, had children there, are buried there.
The China-Cuba Commission asked us one question that stirred our vision of our future in Cuba. They asked, are there parts of Cuba in rebellion? Have coolies aided the rebels? Yes, we ourselves became rebels. We fought for 10 years in the war of insurrection to free Cuba of Spain, fighting side by side with plantation workers. We succeeded, and we are remembered in the monuments to liberation. We are called Chinos Mambises, brave Chinese.
We survived, took root, and made a home. Thinking back to others who made the same journey, we remember too the coolies from India, working the same plantations of Trinidad and Jamaica. They were there before us. They were many more than us.
Many of those Asian Indians who formed sort of the first wave of that migration into those British Caribbean islands were extremely aware of the kinds of conditions that awaited them in places like Trinidad. They composed songs that they sang on board these ships that indicated the depth of their misery and their feelings of anguish. Not simply about having to leave India, but also about the prospects that awaited them in these plantations in the New World.
In the sands facing the ocean sit the gods, placed there by each village. They are there for us, we who set out upon the sea. O gods, protect us.
They would not have guessed that their latter-day descendants would someday journey again northward, this time to the United States, to New York, with their businesses in Manhattan and a community in Queens where Indo-Guyanese make a home for themselves again.
My heritage is I'm Indian from the Caribbean, the island of Trinidad and Tobago.
We were born in the islands of the West Indies, South America. Our grandfathers came from India, different parts of India.
In New York, some Chinese from Latin America have also remigrated northward.
Aquí hay muchas personas que son mitad chinos y mitad latinos.
Oh, I see. This picture was taken where?
In Ecuador.
In Ecuador,
Yeah.
in Guayaquil?
Yeah, in the
Oh, anybody else here from Ecuador? No.
Yo soy de Panamá, así
De
que
Panamá. Okay, and where are you from?
Panamá.
Panamá también. ¿Y tú?
Colombia.
Colombiana.
I'm Fabiana Chu, and I'm from Lima, Peru, in South America. And a lot of people ask me, you look Chinese. How could you be from South America? And that's the point when I feel compelled to explain the 160-year history of the Chinese in Latin America and the Chinese in the Americas in general. I am a fourth generation Chinese from Peru, and actually there's a fifth generation from my family already in Peru. Soon enough there should be a sixth generation just from my family.
How did Chinese first get to Peru? Chinese coolies were first sent to the Chincha Islands off the coast of Peru near Lima. There, a man would be dwarfed by the mountains of guano, which were centuries of bird droppings, become the source of fertilizer for the farms of the world. Ships sat in the harbor, awaiting the work of coolies, flogged to shovel and load the guano. Clouds of poisonous fertilizer filled the air, and coolies breathing this died within a year.
We who labored in Peru could not fathom their cruelty. We did not know the magnitude of the profit in which our lives would count for nothing.
This book was written possibly in the 1800s by my great-grandfather, Agustin Ibmantin, and was dedicated to my grandmother. She was the third daughter, and she was the firstborn in Peru. And in this book, he writes to her instructions about what to say to somebody who asks her where she's from in China. When I went back home with my parents and we looked in the old boxes and we found documents that show that my family had been there for so long that it is just a possibility that my great-grandfather might have arrived as part of that coolie trade as well, which is a very difficult thing to even say to my family. It's painful. You are in the classroom, you're the only Chinese kid, and the teacher in history starts talking about the coolies and how they worked and pick up the guano, which is this seabird droppings off of the coast of Peru, through which many Peruvians became very rich by the work and sweat of the Chinese workers. And you feel like you wanna cover your head because all these other kids are looking at you and saying, that's you.
Chinese are not just Chinese from one place. Chinese come from Australia.
You want to think that your family came on their own. You want to think that your family came out of their free will, that they were not conned, lied to, that they were not lashed, that they were not mistreated. It hurts me because I am Peruvian, because I am one of them, because my family worked very hard to be part of that history, worked to help other people in Peru be rich. So I belong to that history belongs to me. Peru belongs as much to me as it belongs to other people as well.
So some of the very first Chinese in New York are from Peru, escaping the horrible indentured labor system that they were forced to be under, they were tricked to be under, beginning in the 1850s. You have Chinese coming from Cuba as cigar wrappers. They left the sugar plantation